In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the cheapest possible way to get your private pilot's license. I got mine in 11 weeks at 42 hours is when I took my check ride, and I spent $7,160 and some change exactly. But I'll just give you these 3 tips, which if you follow them, you should have the cheapest license for you possible. And I say that because the plane and the instructor that you get are going to cost a different amount than what I had. So by default, that means you're going to have a different price. It should be similar to mine, but not exactly. So the first tip is to spend money only on what you need. For me personally, every time I spent money towards flight training, I listed it on a date and also the amount. So what it was I bought, how much I spent on it, and when I did that. I compiled that into like this Excel sheet that I'm going to attach in the description. So take a look at that and then add your own numbers for your flight instructor and your plane, then you should have a working budget, because that's essentially everything you're going to need to buy throughout your training. By definition, if you buy anything not on that Excel sheet, then it's no longer the cheapest license you can get. So don't buy a $900 iPad when all of your training has to be done on paper charts. Don't buy $400 Bose headphones when your flight school has headphones that you can borrow. So only spend money on what you need. And the second step is to find a good and available flight instructor. And I already talked about this in the other video, the best way to become a private pilot. And essentially you need to find a CFI that has a good schedule, but is also good at teaching you, right? So if you find a flight instructor that you really feel comfortable around, but they have 20 students and they can only fly with you once or twice a week, or if you find a flight instructor that's really available, like 6-7 days a week, but when you're around them you feel tense, in both of those cases you won't learn as quickly as you need to. One, because you don't train as much, and second, because you're tense all the time, so you can't learn as quickly as you need to. And long term, that just means you're going to have to be repeating lessons and paying for them, right? So the best way for this is to just ask for recommendations. Ask your pilot friends who they think would be a good flight instructor. And if you don't have pilot friends because you're completely new to aviation, just hang out at the airport for a bit, because pilots love talking. And so if you're there for 20 minutes, you'll make a pilot friend and then just ask them who they think will be a good flight instructor. You should be good to go from there. The third and final step is to just stick to the schedule that you designed, right? So in the other video, again, I talked about planning out 3 months of good availability and then setting a deadline at the end of that. So once you have that, plan to fly 3 to 4 times per week. And if you ever miss your lessons, you need to make them up, right? So like today, there's nothing back here behind us. So today's like amazing VFR weather. But if one morning you wake up and there's fog and you can't go flying, and tomorrow you didn't plan to go flying, but you have the free time available, and your flight instructor is also good to go fly, then you need to make up that flight. What I think a lot of people do is they don't make up that flight and they push out their deadline. What that ends up looking like is getting your license at 55 hours or 80 hours. There was one student that I was talking to that he got his license at 80 hours, which is double what I did. So don't be that guy. He spent a minimum $13,000 getting his license. So yeah, you've already set a schedule. Just stick to that schedule and you should have the cheapest license possible for you. Like I said, I'm going to attach the Excel sheet that I used in the description, and also a bunch of other things that I think will be useful for you in getting the cheapest license you can. So look through those and form your plan and stick to it. That's really all that I have for this video. So share this with other people who are aspiring to be pilots, and thanks for watching. That's really it.